Thielen on the right side. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. That's probably as simple of a throw as he'll have all game.
And good for everyone. Good for his completion percentage. Good for the receptions for the receivers. But you know how they work on that. They have footballs with no laces. So as soon as you get the snap, you're just throwing the football. All right? You're not trying to find the laces and grip it a certain way. That takes time. Just get the ball and throw it. So that's how they practice it all the time now, too.
13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Offense looked a little bit discouraged after that play, shaking their heads a bit, looking at each other. I think they thought they'd get a lot more out of that call. Sometimes you do get the running lane you want. And other times, the defensive front, they just break up the play before it can get going.
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 45-yard line. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. Throw caught there by Osborne. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35. They clearly wanted to come out, Charles, and be aggressive throwing the football, and they've been pretty efficient along with that aggressiveness. He's now 4 of 4 on this opening drive.
Yeah, and that's led to a fresh set of downs. I like what he's doing back there. You can tell he's at ease, feels good about what he's doing. I think if I'm the play caller, I'm reading that, and I'm continuing to let him throw the football.
Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9. Cousins gives way to Cook. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 3rd down, Cousins got an open man finding Jefferson. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 18. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's a quick throw to Thielen. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical. They've been crisp. And as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
Open man. Once again, it's Thielen. Nothing at all on that one. It'll be 2nd down. And so far, a very nice, methodical opening drive.
This has the feel of a scripted drive that they rehearsed perfectly all week long, and now they're executing it on game day.
Script looks good so far. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And now what we have here, a 3rd and goal. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, and now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering, is the head coach thinking, is this 4-down territory? Might he go for it?
3rd and goal for Cousins. Touchdown, Vikings! K.J. Osborne from 4 yards out. And the Vikings post the first points of the ballgame as they take the lead here in this 2nd quarter. Joseph connects on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. Pulls it in at the 13. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. Watson. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Anthony Schwartz, 79 yards. And the Browns are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6. Hard to believe that arm strength was a knock on Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson, but he showed what he's got there.
And we knew that this offense was going to try and put pressure on the secondary. That was something they talked about with us. They knew that they had an advantage, pressed it, and there you go. Big play for a touchdown on their very first possession.
And that throw, amazingly, well over 70 yards in the air according to Next Gen Stats. Wow. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shying and throwing that football. A gain of 28 yards there and given the 1st down. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll wind up getting about 6 out of that as that's going to lead us to the 2-minute warning. We've hit the 2-minute mark in the first half. All knotted up, it's 7. They run it again with Cook. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. It's a gain of 19 down to the 19, and it's a 1st down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Adam Thielen, back-to-back catches. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
They'll run with Cook. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. On 2nd and goal, Cousins. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
How about this Browns defense? They've held so far. This is now 3rd and goal. Throwing his Cousins. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line.
Partner, there's no other way you could describe it because that was absolutely just gut-wrenching for that offense. They were right on the precipice. Points were available. All they had to do was just fall forward, and they were going to put them up on the board. Instead, a long drive ends in heartbreak and a melancholy trip back to the drawing board. I like it when I go a little bit lyrical for you.
Over the middle, complete. That's Hunt. And he takes this just about a yard shy of the 20. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Set and ready to go for the second half. 1 touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. Pulls it in at the 13. And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. The Browns drive about to get started. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. From the 50, it's Watson. He sets to fire deep. And this is caught. Touchdown. Anthony Schwartz. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Browns have moved out in front.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Extra point by York is up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. And they've got it. They recovered it. But hang on now, though. There's a penalty flag down. Yeah, we saw that one up here, CD. Offensive team, they touched that before it went 10 yards.
Obviously such a fine line, letting it go the required 10 yards, but also getting to it before the hands team can. Just didn't time it out right, and that results in a flag.
first down throw for Cousins. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett, credit him with his sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Now, the number one mission of any offensive line, you got to protect that quarterback, keep him safe back there. This time, the rush got to him in a hurry.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
And a look at the next-gen stats reveals that sack occurred in all of 2.3 seconds. And you think you want to be an NFL quarterback?
And this drive was almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sacked on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Fourth down, Cousins. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And the Vikings will take over possession here up at the 44. Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, you pointed out to me at half, seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying under double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Throw left side complete. That's Osborne. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll be 4th down. Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, they just can't get off the ground. And that play, they wound up losing yardage.
Cousins to throw for it on 4th. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Osborne. And he is going to pick up the Vikings' first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
Complete to Adam Thielen. It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 15-yard line.
A give to Cook out of the gun. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Taken down at the 14-yard line. A gain of a yard.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Cook again. Pushes him over. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this fourth quarter. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Pulls it in at the 13. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this fourth quarter to try to grab that lead back. There he goes, right side, past the 20, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, 79 yards. And the Browns strike quickly to take the lead here in the fourth. Well, they had done a really nice job on him through 3 quarters plus, but you just had that feeling eventually he was going to get loose.
And this is why coaches always preach that it's a 4-quarter game, right? It gets trite for us. It gets trite for the fans. But this is exactly what they're talking about. What you did before was terrific, but will it stand up if you start giving up big plays as we saw there?
Extra point by York is up and good. And the lead is now 21-14. And boy, figure this one out. Leading here in the fourth, and now they're going to try an onside kick. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. Fourth quarter, it felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical. Well, they held them to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at them. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
And he's going to take this down close to a first down at the Browns' 43-yard line. 44 yards rushing for him now to this point. The battle in the trenches never more important than right now. This is 3rd and inches. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 2 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. He was able to get away initially on that play, but ultimately not much space to roam.
Great job there by them containing him, because you mentioned he got away initially, and how many times does that end up with a guy taking off for 15 or 20 yards? Here, the support was there, and they made the tackle for a loss.
And he is going to pick up the Vikings' first down as they find a way to convert on 4th and 10. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Osborne. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
Oh, I know it goes against the grain here. It totally goes against it, but you've got to drop the ball in that situation. He makes a catch, but he loses yards and doesn't get out of bounds.
They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Cousins gets this one out wide quickly, and they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
And that absolutely cannot happen. Just a gain of a yard in this situation, you've got to get chunks of yardage. Otherwise, the defense, very happy with what you're doing.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Partner, they've got one chance left to keep this one going, and I think for you and me, let's think along with their offensive coordinator now. Has to think back, cycle through every play of this contest, and remember what's worked and what hasn't. Because right here, he needs the best play of the game in order to keep this one alive.
Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. And he's got this to Jefferson. A new lease on life after the 4th down conversion. Here's 1st and 10. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense. 2nd down and 7. Cousins to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. They'll try the middle with Cook, and he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Cousins. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Now Cousins. On a bad time late for a poor throw. It's intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns have just about sewn up this football game.
What a stand there defensively. They force the 3rd and goal, force them into what they think will be a passing situation, and then they make sure to lock up all the receivers and come away with the interception. Sounds simple, but that was really well done.
The Browns drive about to get started. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
And now we'll get a timeout here. They're able to stop it with 1 second to go in this game. This offensive line starting to win up front. You win that battle in the trenches, you can kind of wear them down here late.
So you bring in the second part to that equation, and that's the big running back, the big bruiser, who can get more than what's blocked and break a few extra tackles and gain yardage.
They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Error-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.